We're live streaming this, so we need a big round of applause as we introduce the characters you know and love, and the other ones. First, you know a machine, it's Jeff Garcia! Hey, the character is Nick, but it's really a girl, Candy Milo! You know her as Marla Hooch, but we know her as Judy Neutron. It's Megan Cavanaugh! Every boy genius needs a girl. Here she is, Cindy Vortex, Carolyn Lawrence! This guy's new to animation, so please make him feel welcome. Carl Weezer, it's Rob Paulson! And now, the little boy that makes it happen, it's Debbie Derryberry, Jimmy Neutron! And the tallest member of the cast, it's Mark DiCarlo as Hugh Neutron! Hey everybody, how are you? So glad to have you here. This is the first time our cast has all been together to do an event for Jimmy Neutron. It's the 15th anniversary of the show. Man, there's a lot of people here. That's fantastic. Thank you for coming. We only have a half an hour, so we want to get us to as many questions as we possibly can. First, I'm going to rip down this hero. I'd like to hear your favorite line that you did as your character. Jeff, you played Sheen. Just rip one off.
I peed in the shower.
No, I said as your character, Jeff.
Oh. Not that weekend in Vegas.
Nick.
You want to hear me scream like a girl?
My lovely cartoon wife, Megan Cavanaugh, is Judy.
How many times have I told you not to launch your friends off the roof?
Cindy Vortex, Jimmy's love interest.
Jimmy thinks he's the smart one, but actually it's me.
Robbie, Carl Weezer.
Ow, my scapula!
Sorry, there's one better.
Are you gonna finish that croissant?
Jimmy.
Think, think, think. Help me, everybody.
I think my favorite Hugh line was, Mom says you're grounded. All right, I understand we have some microphones in the audience. Do we have a question from someone? Yes, sir, in the Superman suit. What's your name? Okay, I can hear you with that microphone thingy right next to you. Talk right into that so we can all hear. Dude, talking to the microphone.
There you go.
So I think it should be super in quotes. Yeah.
What do you guys think that happened with Shin after Planet Shin? What happened?
What happened to him after?
Yeah.
At the end, he found his way home, but we got canceled, so he's still up there.
I think that Shin ended up in prison. 2 syllables.
Where's the other microphone for other questions? There's a microphone question right here. Does somebody have a question down front?
Come on, coming in front.
Yes, come on down, talk into the microphone there.
Oh, there she is. Come on to the microphone and ask a question. Hurry up, dude. We only got a half hour. Whatever.
You okay? Let's hear.
Hi guys, it's a pleasure to meet you. Anyway, were any of you guys aware that if Jimmy Neutron had another season, it was actually going to be like much darker and more mature? And how do you guys feel like, will Nickelodeon let you guys go that dark if you guys did have another season?
I wasn't aware of that.
Well, they were going to do a whole movie where everyone died in a horrible fire. Which I think, that sounds hilarious, I think.
This whole cast has a dark heart, so it wouldn't.
Yeah,
We're okay.
that stuff is easy.
Yeah.
Someone asked me backstage about how we record the shows. Most cartoon shows, I don't know if you folks know this, you guys do, because you're very into this world. an actor will record with the director alone, and then they stitch together all the performances later. Our producers, Steve Odenkirk and Paul Marshall, and our writers, Jed Spingarn and Gene Grillo. Oh yeah, John Davis, our director, recorded us all together in one room at Nickelodeon, which allowed us to improvise with each other. So we could see each other in our own little locked-off booths and make funny stuff up to make each other laugh. And we would call it the Crazy Pass. We would record the script scene as is, and then Paul would say, all right, Crazy Pass. And then people would take out their notes that they had written the night before to make other people laugh, and then just let them rip. And that was the most fun part of the show.
Right. That's where all the swearing comes in.
Exactly.
And the sessions took about an hour longer.
Right, that would be the dark part of the show, I think.
That's right.
And Paul said about 30% of that actually ended up getting into the show. And I think that maybe that's one of the reasons that the show kind of appeals to kids, but also appeals to grown-ups, because there was some live energy in there that...
Well, the scripts were really solid. I mean, the show, as in most really terrific animation, the edict from the beginning was to not condescend, was to assume that everybody got the joke. And I mean, look at the...
condescending is
That's
when
right.
people don't understand things.
I don't mean to be condescending. Oh, that means talk down to. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, you'll get this on the way home and you'll laugh. But look at the mean age of the folks that are coming to see us. This is not unusual. The fact is that is a show that has really withstood the test of time, and I think it really speaks highly to Jed and John and Gene and all the folks that start with J.
Because
they
you
knew what
guys
the hell
were
they
all
were doing.
kids when we started, right? You were 8, 9 years old when Jimmy Neutron started. And you're still here and you're having babies. And wouldn't it be great if we came back?
Yeah.
Would you like to see Jimmy come back? Well, there's a petition online. When we're done with this, we're signing over over there.
Autograph thing over there.
Over there somewhere.
And we have the address where you can sign the online petition. A lot of people have already signed it already. We would love to come back and do
Yeah, it's
more.
pretty cool.
We love your support, and we love that you're here. Next question.
We're gonna
Yes,
do
sir,
this-
the Yankee hat.
Hey, hold on. We gotta do this show again?
What
wasn't
show
enough?
up, Missy.
Jeez, that means rehab again.
time.
Oh, God.
You don't have to, Jeff. Yes, Charlie Brown.
Yes, sir.
Coming out after 15 years. It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
The show's being pulled out of the recesses of my mind for 15 years ago.
Wow, attaboy.
But now that it's been that long, if your characters were 15 years older, where do you think they might be, and maybe what's a voice they might have?
I think that Nick would be working at a video store, really close to his mom's house,
Yeah.
even though the store is out of business.
I'd be behind a wall in Mexico.
I think Judy and Hugh would be divorced.
Yeah, Hugh would be living in Marina Del Rey having a really good time. Stewardesses dig the Hugh because they love pie.
And Judy would be working for
Yes.
NASA.
I think that Carl would probably say the following. Hi, thank you for calling Petco where the pets go. May I help you?
That would be it, pretty much.
And Jimmy Neutron would probably have his own company in Silicon Valley and be the one calling Petco to say, Carl, please come work for me. And Sydney would be his competitor
Yeah.
at the other company.
But even Carl knows that there's a difference between silicone and silicon. Okay? I'm just saying.
What do those mean?
Actually, I think if Judy and Hugh were divorced, Carl would be all over that Mrs. Neutron.
All right. Oh, Judy, you came and you gave without taking. Oh yeah, Mrs. Neutron, I'd be all over you like white on rice, baby.
I knew you liked my mom. I knew it.
Oh, come on, we're all adults here.
That's a great question. Next question.
Come on forward.
If you have a question, come down to the microphone. We can't hear you back there.
Walk this way, blue hair.
Yeah, pass the microphone back to the guy with the blue hair.
It's Rick or Morty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on forward.
Come on on up front. Attaboy.
There we
He's
go.
gonna skewer you with his hair.
From the Rick, we're from Rick's. Do you think you can beat us to a science fair contest in an entire galaxy?
Well, it depends what galaxy you're in the episode. But absolutely, I'm afraid I will beat you because my time machine goes forward, saw what you did, went home, did it better. But I gotta say, you're a close second, burn.
Chuck, you love.
I've seen Sheen in a fourth galaxy that goes up and down. Oh, wow. Amazing.
With amazing shots. Next question.
Hi. Anybody else have a question?
Come on down. If you have a question, come and line up between one of these two microphones.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Well, better now. Oh, thank you.
What was your favorite part recording the show, like favorite episode?
Oh my goodness. How many did we do? Does anybody know? Were there like 100?
I think my favorite was anyone I was in.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite. I did other voices, but Nick was an odd character because it was the Jimmy Neutron show. And he was drawn so cute and so handsome that they were like, oh, we need to get him out because he's competing with the nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd bomb.
You know what I think was cool though, is that she would come in and do a line and just leave, and we were stuck there for like hours.
Honestly, it was all of us have had the great good fortune of working on a number of shows, and honestly, when you're working with people who are your personal friends, and they just happen to be incredibly gifted, and then you get paid to hang out with people, to do something, don't tell anyone, that we would be doing anyway, with people at this level, and the upshot, 15 years later, is this.
Right? Look at you guys.
We're so lucky.
Look at you.
Yeah, we get how lucky we are, and it really is an awful lot of fun. You go home exhausted for 4 hours of just laughing your ass off.
Yeah. It's great. We did a Christmas episode one year. And of course, they had to cast a Santa Claus for the Christmas episode. So who do they cast? Mel Brooks. If you Google Jewish comedian, Mel Brooks' picture comes up because he is a genius. So we were all informed before. Do not bug Mr. Brooks. Don't ask him. Don't do anything. Just let him come in and do his work. Whatever. We all showed up. Stephen Banks had a copy of The 2,000-Year-Old Man. I had a giant poster from the producers. Everybody brought something. He could not have been more gracious and warm. And Megan had already starred in several of his live-action movies. So Mel walks in and says, what does he say?
I don't remember.
Oh, Megan. He walks in and he sees Megan. He's like, oh my God, Megan, do you people not know who you have in your midst? Yeah, it was pretty. When Mel Brooks is kissing your butt, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, man.
And I think his big line was, someone says, who are you? He goes, I'm Santa. Look at my sack. My great big sack, I believe is what he said. Great big sack.
And they told us, don't be asking for autographs. And we all showed up with stuff anyway.
Of course, you gotta do that. We're fans, man. We totally get it.
Yeah. And he was very gracious. He signed it to us.
Thank you for asking.
Great
sweetie.
question.
Thank you.
Next question.
Yes, ma'am. You have one.
Here's one. Come to the front.
Go ahead. Yes, your turn.
These are all amazing voice actors.
Thank you.
If you could have one of the other characters you voiced come into Jimmy Neutron, who would it be?
I think mine would be Carl.
I like the cut of your jib, Jeff.
See how mine's all whiny and stringy?
I want to sound like this.
I don't know. You mean another one of the characters that we're known for to show up?
I don't know, I think Yakko would be pretty cool.
I think maybe Dexter would be pretty good as a rival genius. I think that maybe Draculaura should be in Jimmy Neutron from Monster High.
What about Pip the Mouse from Barnyard?
Yeah, what would it sound like if Pip showed up on the show?
Hello, I'm the mouse.
Should a Sandy show up from
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy-duty cast, folks.
Good
This was
question.
super fun.
Good question.
Good question. Next.
Hi. Hi.
He's right at the mic.
Hi. So I was wondering, what was one of your most favorite improv moments? And also, could you do the one voice line when you talk about sitting on a banana when you were 7 years old? What did you do? No, when you talked about sitting on a banana when you were 7 years old, could you do that voice line?
I said sitting on... That was probably one of the improvised moments I did.
Sitting on a banana when you were 7 years
Wait,
old?
that made it into the final record?
That sounds like something I would have made up.
It sounds like you.
Yeah, it does. I think my favorite improvised moment, I think, Hugh would always call, "Yeah, Judy, sugar booger." And I'm pretty sure I made that up at some point. And God love them, typically when you work on a show, the writers and the directors, if it's not on the page, they're very protective and they won't let people make stuff up because I think it hurts their ego or something, but our guys are so good, we're so good, that they didn't care. They just wanted to make a funny show. And when you have clever, brilliant improvisers and actors like the people that are sitting at this table, you'd be crazy not to turn them loose.
I never understood that because they're going to get credit for it anyway.
Yeah, that made the show funnier.
Yeah, it really does. And just as Mark said, the shows on which we've worked that have continued to be successful are virtually always hugely collaborative. It really is about the show, and egos kind of get put aside. And it's also, there's a fundamental difference, I think, with respect to shows like this and other celebrities. The characters are famous. We don't draw them, we don't write them. We provide the voices, and to be sure, that is what really affects people in their hearts and their souls, and we're grateful for that. But none of this happens without a shit ton of people working on it. Really. So we get how lucky we are.
That's true.
The original name of the show is Johnny Quasar. And they couldn't get the name Quasar because it's a brand. And so when we were doing improving when it was Quasar, we were, how moms always call kids by their full name when they're right. So it was James Isaac Quasar, and I came up with Isaac because Isaac Newton, and then it became Neutron.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What a cool thing! Good for you.
Yeah, you are responsible for the entire show.
Girl power.
And you know what's funny too is that Sheen was originally supposed to be an Asian character.
Yes.
And
he wasn't.
You came in and blew him away.
Yeah. No, they found out I wasn't that smart. So they changed him to a little Mexican.
I remember in the movie where Jimmy's flying over with his diamond to turn the coal to turn into a diamond to give to his mom to bribe her. And there was this country song called "I'm Just an Old Chunk of Coal," and it came to my mind, and I started singing it. And the director was like, "Where'd you get that song?" And I'm like, "Oh, Nashville." So they called the writer, and he got in the movie. Thank you, John Anderson. These things just happen.
Well, and when we did the movie, I was not supposed to play Cindy. They told me up front, they were very clear, you will never have this job. You are doing something called a scratch while we look for the actress who will play this character. So don't get your hopes up. You will never, ever play her. Here we are 15 years later.
Who better?
I think my favorite improvised line was something that Robbie said. I don't even know if it ever made it to the show about the...
Yeah, I said out of the blue, I just felt compelled to say, you know what? Jesus helps me trick people. He does.
That is my favorite. I remember that 15 years later. I remember the day you said that. I was drinking water all over the microphone. I just remember thinking...
It's no disrespect to... Honestly, but people don't know this. Sometimes Jesus will sit with me and we'll call up a Best Buy and say, "Is your refrigerator running? Well, you better catch it!" And then we hang up the phone. We just do it. Thank you, Jesus.
Hey, Mark, remember this?
Moving on.
Moving on.
Right. Enough takes.
Yes.
At some point we had to stop. But my favorite thing was when we did our Crazy Pass, you would just kind of sit back and wait for Jeff.
Yeah.
And then this show went so far to the left that you were like, oh my God. I mean, Jeff's, Jeff's improvisation between Rob just making Carl simpler and simpler and simpler, and then Jeff just taking it rapid fire in a completely other direction. I was like, let's let it go, Mama.
He says, Jesus helps me trick people. You know Jesus?
You know, it's about the whole cast. Like each one of us individually can do our lines, but when you get all these people together and the camaraderie happens and it's so much fun and it just comes to life, that's what makes a really great show. And it was the luck of the draw and the brilliance of the casting, and you know, it was nice of them to let you in, Mark. Really, really.
I was a diversity hire.
Wait, we have another.
Yes, question.
Go ahead.
Is that Sonic? Or?
Go ahead.
Closer to the mic.
Okay. Why would Jimmy and his parents go out of space with no space helmet? It doesn't make sense.
Oh, that's called dramatic license.
Yeah. That's called it's a freaking cartoon. We can do what we want.
And why would they go into space anyway? I mean, why does a mouse talk at Disneyland? Why does a man fly? Where are these questions?
Why is your hair blue, lady? That's why. It just doesn't matter.
We have another question. Well, we have two. He's been waiting.
Yes.
Hi, Sonic.
Go ahead. Right here.
Is it possible for a Jimmy? Hold on. Is it possible for a Jimmy Neutron reboot to come out?
Jimmy Neutron what?
A Jimmy Neutron reboot?
If the audience wants a reboot, there will be a reboot. Do you want a reboot? Are you sure? All right, well, Google that Jimmy Neutron petition, sign the petition. We would certainly love for that to happen, and with your support, hopefully it will. Yes, you have a second question?
Can I take a quick selfie with you guys?
We have only 7 more minutes.
There we go.
This gentleman's got a question here.
Oh, you got a question right here.
Yes, sir, down front.
Okay, guys, between Battle of the Brains, who would win, Jimmy Neutron or Dexter?
Let's find out.
Wait a minute.
I do have a nemesis in my sister Dee Dee, so that does slow me down, but I think I could knock the crap out of Jimmy Neutron.
Wait a minute, the Dexter from Showtime or the Dexter from...
Go ahead, Jimmy. Jimmy, what do you say?
Well, I always play fair, so if Dexter was really better, then he would win. But that wouldn't happen, but I'm just saying I would be a graceful loser if that were to happen, though it would not.
But what would happen, Mr. Jimmy, if we teamed up? We could rule the galaxies.
Now you're talking, Dexter.
Oh, can I come?
No.
There's too many people in this house right now. Yes.
We have one more?
Come to the
Red
microphone.
shirt,
One more
red
question,
shirt.
I think.
Come on to the mic.
This lady right down
Step
front.
away from the mic.
Hi.
Come into the mic.
Go ahead.
I have a question for Hugh.
Yes.
Can you please sing the song Donut Boy?
Yes, I can, but I'm going to do new lyrics that you probably haven't heard. Because I can't remember. How did it go?
Cop that always get the bad guys. Donut Boy.
Oh, that's right.
Good for you.
You can sing it with me. Hold on.
Yeah.
Who's that cookie cop?
That always get the bad guys. Donut Boy.
Donut Boy! Who's that smart son with a big giant your head? Donut Boy! Donut Boy! Yes, question right here.
Get closer.
Turquoise dress.
That you guys decided to record in a group setting instead of like one at a time, and like how is that different than doing it, in the studio by yourself?
Oh, it's hugely different. I think that one of our producers, Paul Marshall, and Steve Odenkirk were the kind of genesis behind the TV. There's Paul right there. Get on. You're done. Paul, sit here. There's a chair right here. People are interested in what you have to say, Paul. Here, just sit down. There you go.
About 30 seconds.
Fresh out of rehab.
No, this is important. Paul and I are actually producing a feature cartoon right now, and that was one of the stipulations that we had, because what do you get when you get a bunch of people as opposed to reading one-on-one?
Well, I came up with a crazy pass.
That's debatable.
That's right.
Yeah, I came up.
Why? Why is it important?
Improvisation, my friend, improvisation. You know anything about improvisation?
Clearly you don't, Paul.
Okay, thank you. It's called sentence structure, you son of a...
No, this is the guy that I patterned Hugh Neutron, because when Paul gets going, he won't finish a sentence when he's talking. Isn't that true, Paul?
You patterned Hugh Neutron off me.
See, there you go.
It is absolute misery if you're an engineer and you have to do a session like that, because you have to get the buttons up on all the actors or leave it all open, then the animators go crazy. So it's super easy for us when all the mics are open at once. Super hard on the other team. So, you know, kudos to our animation team for making that work.
Well, but you know what? Really good shows, that's what they do. They go the extra mile. You may know this or not, but Robbie was also on a little show that no one really heard about called Animaniacs. And I believe you record the same way, right? We don't? Are you sure?
Yes.
We don't have time to do it?
Yeah, we're done.
We're done? Oh, okay.
Mila said we're done.
Come on, we have our sign over in the corner.
We are out of time.
Thank you.
We want to thank you. Before we leave, though, we'd love to see everyone jumping up and saying, Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy!
Jimmy, Jimmy, Jimmy! Thanks, you guys. We'll be on to your signing stuff, and we'll see you later. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks for playing 15 years, everybody.
Thanks
We'll
for
see you
watching.
later.
Bye, you guys. Go Dodgers!